What if there was a device in the vehicle that just soon as you pulled up to the pump, it transmitted the data since the last time that vehicle gassed up, just the number of miles driven. For privacy folks, it's not like where they drove or, where they were at, but it's just the miles driven. And it gets reflected on the price that you pay in the pump. So instead of, you're not paying the gas tax if you have that device, you're paying just for the miles you drove. So it takes care of any of this credit rebate stuff where they are doing it in Oregon. You just, you've got that device, there's your charge for the miles you drove.
Today is December the 8th, 2017. We are in Riverside at the county building. We are here today because the California Transportation Commission Technical Advisory Committee is meeting here today. They only meet a couple of times a year and they usually meet all over the state, so I have never had an opportunity to actually go to one of these meetings. In this meeting today, they are going to be discussing taxing us by the mile. They want to tax you and track you for every mile that you drive, because the intent is to make it so expensive to drive a car that you are unable to.
I'd like to start by saying that I oppose the tax on mileage. I think it's unconstitutional that a body of elected or appointed officials are even taking these kind of steps to try to hinder our freedom by putting a tax on our mileage. You have no right to tell me where I can go, when I can go, and how many miles I can drive.
Your vehicle mileage tax requires billions of dollars in devices on our cars to track the mileage, and billions of added bureaucrats, to administrate the program.
And why are we even talking about this when SB 1 passed? There should be enough tax money to fix the roads.
The gas tax just went up. It's going to go up again with cap and trade. Toll lanes are being put in, and all over social media, people are posting $700 and $800 car registration bills. Essentially, what this state is trying to do is they want to make it $10,000 to $20,000 a year just to drive an automobile, which is why you are here to tax us by the mile, because the purpose is to make it so expensive to drive that there is no other choice but to ride in those stupid bike lanes that are being put down everywhere.
Well, we know how government operates. No matter what we are promised up front, inevitably, this program will be used to track where and when we drive. Inevitably, this program will be used for variable pricing to control when and where we drive. And inevitably, this program will be a tax increase, not a tax replacement. That is how government works.
As a person who earns his living by making deliveries with my personal vehicle, this would directly impact my ability to earn a living.
This tax that you're going to place on people is really a target on the middle class.
You talk about fixing the roads. Why are we going to fix the roads if we're not going to be able to drive our cars?
With cap and trade, SB 1, you have taxed us this past year to the point of millions of dollars. I'm not going to be able to afford my registration. I'm not going to be able to afford my property tax because of SB 231, the sewer tax. My parcel tax is going to go up almost $1,200 to $1,800 a year.
By any other name, it's a tax. We don't need new taxes. We've been imposed upon these taxes already. All these last-minute bills that got cap and trade and all the rest of them. The taxes went up 12 cents a gallon. What are you thinking? You don't represent the people when you want these. Pay attention, Jim. Pay attention, I'm talking. You're supposed to listen to me. You're supposed to respect what I have to say. You're supposed to give me my lousy 3 minutes, and you're supposed to respect me.
I wore my Santa hat today. Thought I'd bring a little Christmas cheer into the room. Because I understand there's a lot of Grinches out there that want to steal Christmas from the people.
We're not going to have it anymore. I don't know what you're smiling about, man. You think it's funny that I'm getting taxed out of the state? You think it's funny? You know, my kids are having to move out of the state. I have 5 adult children. One of them already left. You're just going to chase us all out? Is that what you're going to do? Or wait for us to die off? Is that your plan?
I'm currently working at the restaurant, and I'm against any kind of tax right now, because if we are taxed, then business has to raise the price. Then they're gonna lay off a lot of workers. I'm really afraid of this.
The gas tax was the last straw for many, many people I know, and they're moving out of the state. Pretty soon, who's going to be left to pay all these taxes? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Robinson. Probably should just offer, first of all, thank you to all of you that spoke, and I appreciate the decorum. You should all understand that the group that's up here is a group of volunteers that were put in place as a result of the passage of Senate Bill 1077 in 2014. That bill wanted to look into a long-term sustainable funding mechanism as a potential replacement to the gas tax. Senate Bill 1077 created a road charge pilot program as well as a 15-member volunteer technical advisory committee to study, to gather input, and to make recommendations on the parameters of the pilot. This technical advisory committee, as I mentioned, is a group of volunteers from throughout the state with varying expertise. And then during 2015, the technical advisory committee held 11 different meetings throughout the state, and as a result, instituted and California completed the largest road charge research effort to date, piloting more than 5,000 vehicles that reported in excess of 37,000 miles driven over a 9-month period. These statistics really reinforced the desire for mobility and a safe and reliable transportation system. And I understand many of the comments. When it comes to the gas tax, keep in mind that the fuels tax, which was first created in Oregon in 1918 and then implemented here in California in 1922, is based on a 20th century assumption that fuel purchases mirror road usage. And until the advent of hybrids, electric vehicles, and vehicles that are getting 50 and 60 miles to the gallon, you know, vehicles in those days were substantially similar. Everybody used to get just 10 miles to the gallon. Today, we don't see that to be the case. Vehicles, technology, and what California is looking for from a transportation system has changed dramatically. And because of those changes, road use and fuel tax payments are really no longer connected. All you have to do is look at the road and you'll see somebody driving that's in a car in the lane next to you is getting 50 miles to the gallon. And if you're in a car getting 12 miles to the gallon, guess what? If you're driving 12 miles to the gallon vehicle, you're paying a lot more than the person in the vehicle next to you. And that's what this is all about long term, is to try to create an equalized system. No decisions have been made, nothing but recommendations. I would encourage each of those that spoke today, and while I respect your comments highly and your upset nature, I would ask you to read the reports and understand again, as I just mentioned, why we're here and the basis for what we are trying to study. So with that, I appreciate your time and the comments. We'll now move into item 3 on the agenda, and that's the approval of the minutes from our meeting on May 19th.
Bullshit. None of you would be on the board unless
you're out of order.
A lapdog.
Please leave the room, sir.
Governor Brown. You're all lapdogs.
Thank you for your... We have a motion for approval of the minutes from May.
Second.
A motion from O'Connor, second from Finnegan. Any discussion?
Could someone follow him out and make sure they don't put him in handcuffs?
All right, the minutes are approved. Let's move to item 4 on the agenda, and that's any reports from members of the tax committee on any road charge related issues since our last meeting.